The universe's biggest questions require the universe's biggest brains. This is Dawn. This is Tom. This is Big Brain.
Welcome back! Welcome back to Big Brain. I'd like to open this episode by saying Big Brain is also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everywhere else for your long road trips or, stuff. Question 1, or in Spanish, número uno. Scenario. Your best friend, a man, gets amnesia and is magicked into female form. Would it be unethical to smash her?
And obviously in this situation she's super hot
That is a given.
and wants to smash you.
Well, you have to earn that, like any woman. The reason it's so easy to smash her is because you know all about your male friend. So it's almost even more slimy.
So even though she doesn't know who she is and has amnesia, you think that there's some like residual
Yeah, it's still the same person.
interests, like they have the
Yeah,
same,
like...
yeah, they tick the same way,
Yeah, exactly.
make them laugh the same way.
Yeah, you've been doing that for like 10 years.
Okay,
That's easy.
right.
So if you turned into a kind of hot girl, 6 foot, just 6 foot to make me not feel small.
Oh yeah, part of being hot is shrinking. Surely.
Yeah, you don't know one's a 6'4" woman. It's fucking vile.
Sorry.
Would it be unethical? Or maybe we start with not thinking about each other. And just keep this as a unknown friend.
You have to
don't
keep
know.
it. You have to keep it logical.
That's the problem though, is to really do this fairly, it would have to be each other or someone of an equivalent.
Okay, so well.
Because I'm already kind of like turned off now.
Yes. So what you do, but that's not ethics, right? I think what you do is you talk about it as if you're talking about a different set of people, and then you extrapolate back, and then you can mindfully assess the feelings.
Yeah, so if let's say the man in this scenario who wants to fuck, or maybe wants to fuck his girl best mate now, isn't grossed out by the idea of it, is it ethical?
And there is some version of consent from them.
Well, yeah, because
They're
you're not gonna rape
into
her.
you. They're into you and they don't understand why. So it's not.
Well, but you are using your knowledge of the person they were before to kind of, slither your way in.
Okay, so what decision making are you denying them, and is it essential? So obviously, for example, if someone came in before you did anything and explained to them everything that had happened, that would feel not slimy, because okay, now they're completely armed with a full set of knowledge in the predicament, right? And then they're still choosing to want to fuck you because they're a weirdo, I guess. But we're talking about no one is filling them in, you're not filling them in, so you're denying them.
That might not even be fine, but yeah.
I mean, it's kind of fine because they're consenting with a full set of knowledge. So now it's just your friend with tits and 2 X chromosomes, and they know that the wizard transformed them a minute ago, and they're still saying, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but it's like the only reason that they're even entertaining this is because of the transformation in the first place, because they're now a woman. So it's like, even with the information and knowledge, they can't make a choice from the perspective of being the male friend before,
Right.
because now they have female urges and
their
thought
sexuality
patterns
is flipped.
Yeah.
What is consent then?
Yes,
That
it's
isn't
like,
consent.
just to be clear, I am fucking. Absolutely.
Okay.
We're just figuring out if it's ethical.
Understanding what it means. Okay, so you raise that point to them. Hey, you have a dumb lady brain. Are you sure you understand this and mean this? You know?
I personally wouldn't raise that point to them because I feel like it severely diminishes my chances to have awesome best friend sex. But if you so choose, I guess, yes, you could say that.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, you're right. I do have a dumb lady brain and have,
honestly,
have no autonomy and agency as a woman. So I guess I can't technically consent to having straight sex with you.
Well, I think they would be so disbelieving.
Disbelieving of what?
Like, if we're being realistic about this, if you said that to someone, they would think you were fucking insane.
That's true.
She has like some amnesia.
Well, you'd have to make a 50 First Dates-esque tape cassette
Of you guys
show
like
them.
growing
Yeah.
up together.
And then the last scene is the wizard turning them into.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to do that.
Yeah.
And then she could know it's all real.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she's seen like how good you guys have been together. through this tape.
You seem like a great guy.
Yeah, like you fucking dapping each other up as bros and like laughing and playing Nintendo when you were kids and stuff. And she honestly finds it quite attractive.
Dude, Black Mirror better not steal this.
Yeah, for real.
I'll be upset.
I feel like, you know, it will be a big triangle of suing after 50 First Dates comes after us.
So what you're saying, that backing even further up, that even if you explain what has happened, they won't believe you, and then maybe you can sidestep that with the 51st States thing.
And to explain that, that's like you put together a video reel and show like the whole thing happening so they can know what's going on. Yeah.
But regardless, to some extent, they've been coerced against their will to wanting to fuck you by having their sexuality flipped with their gender.
Yes.
And now they're a straight woman.
Yes.
But that was against their consent. Unless they consented to being turned into a woman.
In which case, they probably consented to fuck. But
yeah. But I think in the spirit of the question, they did not consent to randomly turning into a woman.
Yeah.
So there is like a weird question of consent because their brain chemistry was flipped without their...
Here's the thing though, is it the same person? I guess if there's some residue opinions and beliefs and stuff, it's almost as if they like changed to, they were just born to different gender.
I think you have to... Okay, so again, in the spirit of the question, it has to be the same person. And then what does that mean? I think it would mean that they
were born just as a chick instead of a dude. Like not in...
But then what does that mean? They went through life as a chick and...
No, but just like, if you imagined that everything happened the same except that sperm made them a female.
And then they led the exact same upbringing and so on, but as a woman.
Yeah, although they didn't live through that, they just like appeared that way. But that's the equivalency we're setting forth. It's that like, that's how you get kind of the same person.
Okay.
But then it would be a different sperm, so it wouldn't be the same person.
Yeah, and then it kind of becomes ethical because it's like, okay, they lived a life as a woman. Or de facto have.
But your mate, when he turns back, would still be really upset.
Does he turn back?
Yes.
Okay, he does turn back.
Yeah, you can't just ride into the sunset
How
with this perfect woman.
How quickly does he turn back?
As soon as you've both nutted and had a cigarette, the moment the last drag on the cigarette and she goes, that was really fun, and flicks it, like, yeah. What the hell are we doing? Did we do it again? You're like, no, this time you turned into a lady first. I think he would be upset.
Yeah.
You'd explain it. You'd be like,
you're right.
but it's like a different sperm and stuff. Like, it's not like the same thing. So when I like,
no, you're right.
You, and he'd be like, what do you mean you fucked me? Well, you know, first we started with. You know how on Pornhub when you like scroll along the timeline and there's like the chapters, like the markers, like gaping, like doggy style. You would basically have that conversation with him.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? What do you mean? And you'd be like, well, first we did this, and then we did that, and it was magical, and we climaxed together. And I don't know why you're being so unreasonable about this whole thing.
Okay, so his feelings are hurt.
I would assume your feelings would be hurt.
Okay, but again, show's about logic, not feelings. So the question is, should his feelings be hurt?
I mean, I guess if it's like, if we're going with the, it's gonna fork off based on, is this the same person but female now, or is it a completely like different sperm?
Well, then it's not the same person. Then it's like you didn't have sex with your friend; they were just like swapped out with a totally different entity. But they're swapped back in.
It would be, it'd be like a sister. It'd be like his sister. Because you can assume same parents.
Or something like this, like him from another dimension as a woman, but then it's still just a different person.
Yeah.
So you haven't slighted your friend or even interacted with
He would still be mad, but...
I don't know if I would be, though.
Yeah, oh my god.
No, well...
Dude.
Oh, no,
dude,
you're right. You're right,
If you turned into a chick, no matter how it happened...
Okay.
And I just fucking... rooted you.
Okay, but what...
You're telling me you wouldn't be mad.
Okay, so this is what it would be, all right? If we discovered through logic and reason that you didn't have sex with me, you had sex with my female from another universe doppelganger that swapped spaces with me, like physical space.
But you transformed into her.
No, I did transform into her. It's not a separate entity.
It's still a separate entity, but the way you got there was through like
So where did my body go?
All the cells just like turned over.
Oh, well then yeah. Then it's just me.
Well, it's not. Like they like turned into the other one, but for that to happen, you had to go through this almost like, you know,
Weird.
Jekyll and Hyde transformation.
and I'm just gone, and then this alternate universe version of me is here. And
Yes.
Then, yeah, well then I'd be pretty peeved, partner.
That's what I'm saying. Even though that you swapped out, the fact that there was like that connective tissue makes you feel
right. Well,
bad about it.
Well, what I was getting at is if it was more like a body swap with an alternate dimension, and it's like female me.
Yeah.
I think I'd still be really annoyed. But
why? Feel violated. But
yeah,
why?
I feel like I feel like a kinship with all my alternate universe versions, you know, and I feel like you've taken advantage of what you know about me. Fuck poor female me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's like ill-gotten knowledge.
So it's still annoying, but it's not like as bad. Still really bad. Still like maybe not talk to you anymore bad, but not as bad as
the
like
connection we had.
if I transmogrified into a female. Yeah. So, but does that mean it's ethically wrong?
So, well, the question this all came from was like, should he be mad? And like, logically, no, because nothing bad happened to him. Something good just happened to me. And if anything, he should be happy for me. But
I feel that my civil liberties have been violated somehow, though.
Yeah, but they weren't, because it's not you.
It's like we were talking about last time, like, if someone came in and like fucked your house up, and then they knew, and you knew, and everyone knew it was just going to be fixed immediately.
But in this case, it's not your house.
It's your body.
No, it's not though.
Blasted all over me.
No, I didn't.
What did you do then?
I blasted over an identical house with.
Where'd the go? Is it still in my chest?
It's still inside of you.
Where though?
It's still up
like,
in your guts.
It's just like in my
just floating
in
around.
My bladder. Just
every time you get an MRI scan from now on, they're like, "There's like a dark spot around your abdomen.
Yeah.
What is that?" It's just a big heaping of.
But all right. So you use a condom.
Well,
it's still like.
I never use a condom.
So you use a condom, or you don't use a condom. The has to go somewhere. Okay, let's just say you spilled your seed on the ground.
Yeah.
An abomination against God.
But this is kind of a key. Is the still on you?
You pulled out and.
Why?
I don't know.
Why would I do that?
Out of fear of what might happen, I guess.
Right, I was trying to be a good guy.
Yeah, because you knew I'm going to turn back. It's like, okay, now Don has my.
Right, I don't want my on Don.
Yeah, exactly.
So that makes sense.
If anything, it's selfish.
Yeah, you don't want to see your male best friend covered in your.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Yeah.
So okay, that makes sense.
So you just on the ground.
So yeah, it would be so difficult to pull out, but I would try. Mm-hmm. And oh my god. Female you wraps her legs around me and pulls me. No! Oh god!
Hey, come here.
No, stop! You're not thinking about alternate you.
What?
Fucking you watch the tape, you dumb bitch.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't care. I just want this moment to be ours forever. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I pull out.
So you haven't
come into a rag.
You haven't slighted or inconvenienced me by having
my chest.
Me. Okay, so that's a good start.
You would still be pissed.
Yeah,
there's no way around you being pissed.
Yeah, but you're arguing that it would be irrationally pissed though, because nothing happened to me that I remember.
If we wake up in the same bed, then that's probably a violation.
What you're saying is because I don't remember it and my waking female self consented to it, you haven't actually hurt me or slighted me.
Yeah,
but there's
nothing to do with you.
And we're also, again, putting forward that against my consent, my physical gender and sexuality is swapped.
That's on the wizard. That was him.
Okay, but then you're going along with the wizard's scheming.
Oh, well.
You're an accomplice to the wizard.
Maybe. Okay, well, I guess if I'm an accomplice to the wizard, that would kind of be ethically wrong.
Well, even if you don't know about the wizard, you probably know that I didn't mean for this to happen.
So yeah, it would be unethical because of the power discrepancy. Mm-hmm. Or just but if you revealed that up front.
Hey, I know everything about it.
With your 51st dates montage and she's still down with it, then it's no longer unethical.
Right, yeah.
But is it unethical to like knowingly do harm to your friend by engaging in this act?
Okay, so if it's a totally different entity, ethical, if you show them the 51st dates VHS tape.
Yeah.
And they like understand what's happening so that there's no like abuse of pre-knowledge. If I just transform literally into a woman and my sexuality and gender are reversed and I have amnesia, probably unethical because I didn't consent to now being attracted to men for a brief time. And then you're taking advantage of that.
Yes. Big brain.
Big brain.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Tom.
Let go, Tom. Question 2.
Would you rather be a werewolf or a vampire? A question as old as time, but very important because you never know when that choice may be presented to you.
Are we talking about a goblin-esque Nosferatu vampire? Or a Twilight or True Blood style sex fiend vampire?
I'm gonna say you have the ugly exterior of the Nosferatu vampire, where you look like the average Armenian man, but you also get all of the vampire powers you've come to associate with vampires. Here's an important one. Is my soul condemned to hell forever, just by virtue of being a monster of the night?
I don't know the exact rules to that. The original vampire is definitely like Satan and going straight to hell.
Yeah, it's like some evil thing renouncing Christ or whatever, right? That's kind of the Bram Stoker vibe.
Vampire powers come from Satan.
So Satan's the homie?
Or you're sort of his slave.
I'm just the biggest house slave.
You're
I'm that guy in Django,
yeah.
but with fangs.
Yeah. Samuel Jackson.
I'm Samuel Jackson. I'm the head slave.
That's what
house
it is
slave.
to be a vampire, basically.
But with sweet powers. Okay, and for werewolves, you go turn into a werewolf on the full moon. Can you control yourself while you're a werewolf? I would say a big part of being a werewolf is no, you can't control yourself.
Yeah, that's the standard thing. Yeah.
And that's like the whole curse of it.
Yeah.
Do you get a sexy hairy chest with big muscles? Yes, obviously. Your soul's not damned to hell. That's kind of a big plus.
For sure. The biggest issue with this, because on paper, you might immediately think it's obvious, I want to be a vampire, not a stupid werewolf, right? But the existence of vampires guarantees heaven and hell. And we don't know the exact semantics, but I would say that your resume in terms of getting into heaven is a little shaky at best. So you either have a uncertain time at best getting into heaven when you die, inevitably, when the sun explodes or whatever, or you don't have to worry about any of that and you can just be like a good person or whatever as a werewolf.
So you're gonna be a werewolf. You're that's what you're saying. you're like who's like scared of stuff.
I think if you choose to be a werewolf, you can overcome the disadvantages easily and you can be reasonably sure you secure yourself for eternity.
Reasonably sure.
Yeah. Vampires being real assures the existence of the Judeo-Christian God.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Not
That makes it clear cut.
Not Vishnu or something.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So all you have to do is follow those rules.
Which ones?
The
Judeo-Christian rules.
all of them.
They don't seem to agree on stuff though. Protestant, Methodist, Baptist.
Well, okay, you do
Orthodox.
have to be a zealot and go exactly by the Bible as written and not interpretations. So like explicit.
So you will be stoning women to death as a werewolf.
No, you just avoid you just avoid women that deserve stoning.
What happens when you turn into a werewolf and start eating shellfish?
You don't
You're
have
going to hell.
You don't have any shellfish in your little prison cell you put yourself in.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
You could go a layer deeper and say that vampire folklore was around before probably all that shit. Vlad the Impaler and that. And then the Christians took that folklore and mapped it onto their pre-existing religion like they did with so much other stuff.
No, Vlad was real though. And he was in Transylvania.
Vlad was a real guy.
And they were in Transylvania.
Yes.
And they were Christians.
But the vampire folklore existed before that.
Did it?
Yeah, I thought that was like Slavic folklore.
I have no idea.
Although tales similar to modern legends of vampirism have existed dating back to ancient Egypt, the vampire myth as we know it stems from 11th century Russian Orthodox stories of dead rising to feast on the blood of mortals.
Well, so that's important too. If you're talking about vampires before Christianity, then obviously they wouldn't have vulnerabilities to the cross and so on, and have nothing to do
That
with
could just be propaganda.
yeah, and then they have nothing to do with Christianity.
Yeah.
And in fact, they might be from older gods. And then, yeah, you're right. There's like no way to tell what's going on because even the your soul is damned thing could be made up.
Yeah.
And there's no way to know.
Yeah.
In which case, you kind of eliminate any reasonable concern for the afterlife because you just don't know.
Yes.
And then you pick vampire for sure. Okay, so Christian Orthodox vampires. You want to be a werewolf?
Yep.
Weird ancient pagan Egyptian vampires. Probably go with that one.
Big brain, but I'm not shaking your hand.
It is now time for the life advice section of Big Brain, where we answer our patrons' questions because, of course, the patrons are more important than the general audience.
Hi, Tom and Don. I'm Josh, and my question is, does Sonic the Hedgehog's sperm cells move super fast, or does he shoot it out at high speeds? If the former, can his sperm burn themselves out before insemination? If the latter, can the velocity of his load cause physical injury given how we calculate force?
Excellent question, friend. I think, to start with, we've never confirmed that Sonic has a cock.
Well, he is a hedgehog. Do hedgehogs have cocks?
And in fact, having watched a fair amount of Sonic in my time, I do remember in, is it Sonic Generation? No. In Sonic Underground, it does show Sonic as a baby, so yes, they have cocks.
Sonic isn't an ageless deity. He was born. Mm-hmm. And has parents, so he has a dick.
Does his sperm move at super speed?
Well,
Sure, why not?
I think the spirit of the question is, does it move at super speed as a default, right? So using his legs to thrust his hips and the forces of inertia, right? He could theoretically hump so fast, just like he can run so fast, that with inertia his would also be going supersonic.
How it works?
Yeah, it's like if you're in a moving car, you're not like pressed into the seat, you know? You're moving the speed as the car. So the would be moving the speed as him when it's shot forward.
Oh.
Just like if you're in a plane and you're sticking out a plane, if you shoot a gun, the bullet initially is going to have whatever its base speed would be plus the plane speed. So if he can thrust his hips super fast when he blasts, then theoretically his would be super fast. But I don't think that means by default his cum is fast. I think it's just to do with how fast he's fucking whatever poor animal.
Yeah, whatever fucking animal he just freed from the shackles of being a robot. And to further expand upon that, I would assume, though I don't know, that Usain Bolt doesn't any faster than Danny DeVito.
As a default.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Right? The sperm, just because he can run real fast doesn't mean his is going to go faster.
Yes.
Does a cheetah quicker than a hedgehog? You know, like maybe a bit, but not enough to make up the discrepancy in movement speed.
So there's no reason to think that he would just by default
Have
faster.
mega
He would but he could have mega if he wanted to.
by going real fast.
Yeah, which is kind of funny.
So, to the second part is, would the sperm burn itself out before it reached because it's going at 300 miles per hour?
Is that he can only run 300 miles per hour? I thought he could go speed of sound. How fast is Sonic?
I think he could probably go like break the sound barrier. He does do sonic booms, right? And that's breaking the sound barrier.
That's his whole thing. So how fast is the speed of sound?
After searching our big, giant, fat, big brains, we remembered the speed of sound is 767.269 miles per hour. We also remembered that the standard load of human, who Sonic would be a better analog to than a regular hedgehog because of his anthropomorphized anatomy, is about 5 milliliters. Assuming has roughly the same density as water, this would mean Sonic's load has a mass of about 5 grams. Funnily enough, this is a similar mass to a standard 22 caliber round, and at 735 miles per hour at the low end, it also has a similar speed. The cross-sectional area of Sonic's load and a 22 round are also similar, so we can assume the pressure would be very similar as well. Taking into account hydraulic shock and assuming the distance traveled from Sonic's cock to its target is on the order of 1 to 10 centimeters, it would only be reasonable to assume getting blasted by Sonic would be very similar to getting shot point blank by a .22 rifle. Big brain.
So we can infer from our quick maths that Sonic's recipient would in fact have a 22.22 size round hole blown in them, but his would not burn itself out before reaching the intended target. I hope that helps with your life. And Godspeed.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Hey Tom and Don, greetings from Austria. This is Baron Danny D, and I have a question for you. What role model should I follow in life? Should I be more like Andrew Tate kind of guy, or more like Mr. Dan Shapiro?
Wow, good question. 2 excellent role models. Ben Shapiro is such a fucking dork.
So is Andrew Tate.
Yeah, but different type.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's really tough, man. Ben Shapiro is such a, worm. Such a snivelly worm, do you know what I mean?
Why don't we start with whose roadmap do you think is better?
Well-
and then once you do that, you can counterbalance it.
Do you know what? I feel like if I could turn into one of them, it would obviously be Andrew Tate. Just based off of the facts, he's got all his sweet, material shit. He's in great shape. The only thing holding me up is it seems like Ben Shapiro's kind of more of a family man. He actually seems like he's, you know, probably wants to be a good dad and all the rest of it.
Which
I don't get that vibe from Tate.
Yeah.
Who would you rather hang out with, Tate or Shapiro?
Probably Shapiro.
That's because you're a pussy. I would hang out with Tate because he's like less fucking insufferable.
I think that
I could watch the fights with Tate.
that's true. He is insufferable though. The way he talks is fucking.
We could make funny jokes about women.
That's true.
Ben Shapiro would be like, well, actually, I don't quite agree with that.
But Shapiro makes great jokes when the mics are off. Just not with any cuss words.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't swear. I'm Ben Shapiro. P-word.
Gun to your head, who are you saying?
What if I was Tate? I would disarm you.
You're not Tate. You're not. You're not Tate. You're not. Nope. The gun's still there. It's still nope. It
Seems like I need more Tate in my life, and then I'd be able to disarm you.
You're saying Tate then?
Yeah, I could have more fun with Andrew Tate.
Maybe let's frame it this way. Imagine your son
Yes.
has to go into the hyperbolic time chamber for 10 years.
Is Goku there?
And no, just him. Just him and a VHS tape of either Andrew Tate or Ben Shapiro to guide him as a father figure for 10 years. Which one do you give him?
If my son turned into Ben Shapiro, I would kill him and myself. If he turned into Tate, I'd be like, okay, you need to like gain more, maybe a bit more wisdom, but at least you're not a fucking absolute loser. Whatever, dude. Fuck you. Stupid question. Be a Tom and be a Don. We're the perfect men. Beauty, brawns, and brains. Big brains.
Thank you for watching Big Brain. We'll see you next time. Blasting off now.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
All questions for this program were submitted by our patrons. If you're in dire need to have your question answered by Tom and Don in the next episode, sign up now and submit your question today. Link in the description.